Hi, I just saw Disney's new Haunted Mansion film, and these are my thoughts. So going into this one, I was kind of hoping to get pleasantly surprised in the way that I was with the Jungle Cruise movie starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. I thought that was a really pleasant surprise. It wasn't a great movie, but I did have a lot of fun with it, and it was kind of like a better Indiana Jones movie than the one we just got, in my opinion. So with that in mind, I was kind of open to really enjoying this film. You know, it had potential, especially with someone like Justin Simien directing it. You know, I haven't seen his previous movies, but I've heard really good things about them. And the cast for this just is stacked, so I was just interested to see it no matter what. But yeah, I haven't seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, I'm not sure, or the original Haunted Mansion from 2003, because that came out when I was 3, and if I saw that, I would have shit my pants. And I feel like that's kind of how I feel about this movie too. Like, not that it would make me shit my pants right now, I just mean that I'm not really sure who the movie was for, because on the one hand, it does have some kind of kid-friendly, funny, sometimes kind of hit and miss humor, but then it also has some moments that are genuinely kind of frightening for adults, like for someone like me. And I feel like if I had watched that as a kid going to see that movie, I feel like I would kind of be scarred for life. It's going to be one of those movies that traumatizes kids. So it's like sort of a kids movie, sort of a Disney horror movie, but it doesn't really lean towards any one of those things enough, so it just kind of feels like an odd mixed bag, unfortunately. But I was kind of entertained. You know, it's nowhere near as pleasantly surprised as I was with the Jungle Cruise movie. Ultimately, this one isn't really worth seeing in the theater, unfortunately. That's kind of the word of the day with this movie, unfortunately. But yeah, I feel like I'm a fan of all of the actors. There's some fun cameos sprinkled throughout it, which I won't spoil. But none of it is really worth seeing in the theater, as much as theaters need us to go see movies as much as we can right now for them to stay alive. This one isn't necessarily worth going out and paying a lot of money to see. And if you're going to the movie because you love Jamie Lee Curtis or Jared Leto, I'm not going to get into spoilers or anything, but they're barely in the film, particularly Jared Leto. I feel like they just paid him so that they can put his name on the poster. Like, he plays the Hatbox Ghost, Leto, but it's kind of like, you can't really tell it's him. It's kind of a CGI face that looks nothing like him, combined with a voice that sounds nothing like him. It's not like, oh, I'm a big Jared Leto fan, I wanted to see more of him. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, why not give that to someone, a voice actor who actually does that for a living, instead of just hiring him, a talented actor, but hiring him to basically do nothing in the movie. Yeah, I definitely had a few scares and a few laughs with this movie, but ultimately it's nothing special. It's just, it felt kind of generic, to be honest. And also, for a movie called Haunted Mansion, they spend a lot of time in this mansion, but there's really not enough ghosts in it. And I just kind of feel like, I was looking up this movie, it cost $130 million. And it just feels like you can't tell in a way, because it looks like a lot of the visual effects are just not quite there yet. It's not a bad movie, but it's just kind of like, the target audience is unclear, so it kind of just makes it like not quite scary enough if you're looking for a horror movie, and not quite funny enough if you're looking for a family comedy that you can bring your kids to. And it just, the family comedy, the family friendly stuff juxtaposed with the genuinely frightening imagery and ghosts, and like, it just doesn't quite mesh well. And it's just, I'm not sure who this movie is for. That's just what I keep saying, but it's the truth. If they do end up doing that Scarlett Johansson Tower of Terror movie, I hope that they can, you know, not be afraid to lean into the darker side a little bit and just, you know, make a darker movie. I don't know how it happened that they thought, oh, Tim Burton would be a good choice for the Dumbo movie, and they never thought to give him Haunted Mansion. I think that would have been interesting to see him do. like there are definitely moments that kind of have the social commentary that I'm guessing something like Justin Simeon's Dear White People may have had. There's like a few throwaway lines and stuff, but overall I guess it's just, it feels kind of tame, a little safe. But like, again, the scary stuff is risky, but then it's combined with some very safe, family-friendly humor, so it's kind of dipping its toe into two types of movies and doesn't fully commit to any one of them. But still, like Owen Wilson, I'm always gonna think, you know, he's charismatic, and you know, I'm a fan of everyone in the movie, like DeVito and Jamie Lee Curtis and Lakeith Stanfield and Tiffany Haddish. It's a really good cast. It's just, and they do what they can with it, and there are some like genuinely heartfelt moments in there, but overall it's just kind of passable, unfortunately. That word again. So yeah, I would say unfortunately I again would not recommend this film. Maybe check it out on Disney Plus, but definitely don't see it in the theater, at least in my opinion. But yeah, thanks for watching, and if you're a parent, please don't take your kids to see this because they will have nightmares and wet the bed for the rest of their lives. Good night.